So one of the really cool things with this that blew a lot of my students' minds back in the day is that many learners say, I can't understand natives because they speak so fast. Now, some natives speak fast. That can be true. But generally, when learners say this, it's not because of the speed. It's actually because of what's happening with the function words reducing. So you're not hearing them at all. It's not like you're learning in school where they probably taught you to say each word in the sentence really fully. So we saw that example at the beginning of the episode that you said, I need to go buy some milk at the store. That's how most of us would learn in school, right? But then you get thrown out into the wild and you find out that natives don't say it that way at all. So it sounds like we're saying it really fast because we're reducing a lot of those sounds.
That is true. Yeah. I love the imagery that you just provided here. When you are thrown out there into the wild, it's almost like that when you have to go in the real world and then you start listening to people, they're like, oh, I've heard that so many times from people like, oh, I've studied English here in Brazil for so many years. And then when I traveled abroad, when I went to an English speaking country, I felt like I didn't know any English. I've heard that so much.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. We like to say a lot of the time that, you know, when you learn in school, it's a bit like you're taking a stroll through the zoo. But here at Real Life English, what we're trying to do is to help you to go on a wild safari, which is more like that elephant or that lion or that hippo is 10 meters away, and they could decide to come at you in any moment, right? You're out there, you're in the danger, you're facing big challenges. Things aren't always going to go as you expect, but it's important to have those experiences so that you're ready for anything.
To give another example about what you were saying before, we gave the example at the beginning, right? I need to go to the store, right? I need to go to, right? The store. We also have, for example, the sentence, I'll talk to you at 8 o'clock. But that part right there, the at 8 o'clock, you will hear natives saying at 8 o'clock. So I can speak that slowly. I can say at 8 o'clock. At 8 o'clock. I don't have to say at 8 o'clock, like really fast. But as long as you master that connection, joining those sounds, that's the key here.
And I think that is a really important building block of fluency, is getting down these word chunks, these sounds that go together, and being able to master the content and function words. And if you've never heard of this before, it could sound overwhelming. But if you practice it, you start to notice there's patterns. So you start to actually look at this in different collocations, like you just said, that if you're watching a TV series and you heard them say at 8 o'clock and not at 8 o'clock, and you're like, oh, that's interesting. They said at 8 o'clock, not at 8 o'clock, like I learned in school. So you pay attention to that, and then, it's anything that you hear like that. So it's at 9 o'clock. You don't have exactly the American T, that Ada, 8 o'clock, but at 9 o'clock or at 2 o'clock. And you can start using that in your own speaking, right? And you're going to notice all sorts of things like this. We'll talk about some more common word chunks, but I think just the curiosity to notice this out in the real world when you're listening to a podcast, when you're watching a TV series, that's going to do wonders for you, because you're going to start tapping into these patterns. You apply them bit by bit, and before you know it, it's just going to be coming naturally to you.
That is absolutely true. It's important to develop this sense of curiosity towards the language and actively listen. Actually listen, paying attention to whatever it is you're consuming. Just like just now, we were talking here, right? And you were explaining something. I heard you said words that go together. You didn't say words that go together just now, like a few seconds ago. You didn't say go together, but go together. But I heard that because I was listening attentively to the words that you were using, how you were pronouncing them. So yeah, as a learner, guys, you really want to get into the habit of being curious about the language and practicing this active listening, really paying attention to what you're hearing. Our main mission here at Real Life English is to create a world beyond borders. We do this by helping people speak confident English so they can become the best versions of themselves. As you probably know, we have recently created the Real Life English app with the intent of helping millions of people improve their English and connect with other speakers. And we would love for you to join us in making this vision a reality. By using our app, you help us to keep creating lessons like this for free. And you also learn tons of words, phrasal verbs, and expressions with our advanced technology. Thousands of learners just like you are already using the app to get confident, natural English. So I would like to invite you to download the RealLife English app and start using it today. Help us build the best English learning app and community on the planet.
Just talking about some common word chunks that you might encounter that reduce. There's tons and tons of these. So it's more so just to give you some examples so that you can start looking out for these yourself. So anytime you hear something, you're like, oh, that's not how I was expecting it to sound. You can pay attention, maybe go back, listen to it or watch it again and try to pick these up and start practicing them yourself. Do you want to say the first one, 𝗥𝗲𝗟𝗏?
Yeah, sure. Take it or leave it.
Take it or leave it. And what does that mean if I tell you take it or leave it?
Imagine you are having a negotiation with someone. You are trying to negotiate something and the person is really tough with you on that negotiation. The person is playing hardball with you, as we say. And then you make your final offer. After you make your final offer, you say, this is as far as I can go, as low as I can go in terms of the price. Take it or leave it. Meaning, either you accept this or you don't have a deal.
Deal or no deal, right?
Yeah.
And you gave a nice expression there to play hardball. So if you're watching on YouTube and you're like, I don't know this expression, we've used several of these today, right? That we're not defining. So you might want to check out the RealLife English app because there you get a full interactive transcript. So you can click on any word or expression and get a definition for it. Plus we give you vocabulary flashcards to help you to never forget the most important expressions from every single lesson. So if you don't want to miss out on anything, if you want to be really, as quickly as possible, amplifying your vocabulary, expressions, and so on, so that you can really take it to the next level, then definitely check out the RealLife English app. It's free to download, and you're going to really be able to enjoy the lesson to the fullest.
I love that. Enjoy it to the fullest.
Yeah, it's another nice expression, right?
Yeah, completely, right?
All right, so we wouldn't say it take it or leave it. We'd say it take it or leave it. The next one is give and take. Give and take. Give and take.
And what does that mean? Give and take?
A nice example might be in a relationship. There's a give and take in a relationship, right? With your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband. Sometimes you have to compromise so that sometimes, you get what you want. So there's a give and a take.
I think it's worth also defining compromise, Ethan. And I'm going to explain why, but could you define compromise? You have to compromise. What does that mean?
It's a false friend in some languages, right?
Exactly.
Compromise means there's finding a win-win that's actually on a higher level. But a compromise is basically saying like, you want Italian, I want Chinese. And so we say, okay, let's go out for, I don't know, Spanish food. Something that's not exactly what either of us wanted, but something that we can compromise on.
I get it. Yeah, because in Portuguese, for example, we would think the word is appointment. We say compromiso, but that's not correct. That's an appointment, right? Is it the same in Spanish, like compromiso, with the S?
Yeah,
there
exactly.
Yeah. But no, compromise in English is this, yeah? What you just explained.
Mm-hmm. In English, it would be a commitment also. Might be an exact translation for that. I have a commitment.
Nice. Ethan, a quick question about give and take. Is it also possible, I think I've heard this before, to say give or take, but then give or take 10 minutes?
Yeah. It's like approximately. How long will it take to get to Springfield? Give or take 2 hours.
Okay, so give or give and take. It's incredible. You are just changing one small word there. And and or, excuse me. But the meaning changes completely.
And both of them reduce significantly, right? Give and take, that you just have an there in the middle, and give or take, that you just have an in the middle. So it could be very easy to confuse those two if you hear it.
Yeah. I guess in that case, the context would help a lot. Yeah. In that specific situation.
There you go. Pay attention to the context. That's another good suggestion. Okay, the next one, worth a shot. It's worth a shot. So this is a good one because we have the article a there, which we almost never say a fully pronounced a, worth a shot. It's almost always which is that schwa sound again, worth a shot.
And something worth a shot is something worth doing, pursuing. Mm-hmm. It is worthwhile. You should spend your time doing this. Like, guys, learning how to connect the sounds better, right? When you speak English, this is definitely worth a shot.
All right. So the last one is love 'em or hate 'em. Like you could say, your mom might say, love him or hate him, he's your brother.
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. It's a brotherly love, right? Love him or hate him.
Exactly.
So here we drop the H for him, right? We don't say love him, but love him.
Exactly. And this is another interesting point that we talked about, auxiliary verbs, helper verbs, that they reduce even though they're a type of verb. And these are pronouns, him, her, them, that all reduce quite similarly. So you have im, so love him or hate him becomes love him or hate him. Love her or hate her would become lover or hater. Love them or hate them would become love them or hate them. This is important to pay attention to because you need to know who they're talking about. You might get confused if you're talking about him or you're talking about her, or you're talking about them, especially with the im and the because they're so similar with him and them.
That is true, yeah. Going back to what you were saying at the beginning of the episode today, Ethan, yes, there are patterns. These are not random. There are patterns. So if you consume enough English and you pay close attention, you will start identifying these patterns. And then you will see that they happen all the time, pretty much. Thanks for learning with us. You should know, though, that this was just a small bite or a short clip of the full lesson. If you want to listen to the entire lesson, download the Real Life English app for free right now and listen to the full version over there.